Hello, class. Good morning to you, and welcome to week 6 of our semester. Hope everything's going well with each one of you. Now that we're in fall, it's starting to seasons are kind of changing a little bit. It's starting to feel a little bit more like fall. So it's my personal favorite time of year. But yeah, so far, I think the class is going extremely well, and welcome to week 6. A couple things for this week. Last week I posted your grade for the first paper, for paper number 1. And I was very impressed with what I read. The overwhelming majority of you, really took your time, really wrote some good papers, and I really appreciated that. So, on paper number 1, because, it's kind of your first paper in this class. I don't grade it very hard in that, as long as you really made an argument, as long as you put forth the effort, I try to give you, as full a full credit as possible. A lot of people received hundreds. I was very impressed with how it went. So for future papers, I tend to grade a little bit more difficult, but I'll give you some pointers and some ideas to help you, continue to write really good papers. So, but first round, I was really impressed. I tell you how impressed I was. I literally I won't say the name of the student, but one of your classmates, wrote from one of the Fortune 500 companies, some of the things they wrote about their diversity. I was reading that paper and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I forwarded it, not the paper, but I forwarded the information to my boss and said, hey, this is something that we should definitely be doing here in the University of Illinois system. And so we actually have a meeting coming up to talk about that. So again, because of a paper that you wrote, it's having a real world practical effect. So to me, I'm learning just as much from you as you're learning, from me. So I really appreciate, how well the class as a whole is doing. So, well, for week 6, we're going to be doing our discussion on Asians and Asian Americans. To kind of continue, we a couple weeks ago we talked about blacks and African Americans. This past week was Hispanic and Hispanic Americans, and then this week we're doing Asian and Asian Americans. So the discussion this week, it's from an article in your textbook about some anti-Asian racist statements that were said at a radio station. So I can actually remember this when it happened. It was a big nationwide thing. So I'm glad it made it into your textbook. It's a great discussion topic for us for this week. The case analysis this week, I think, is incredibly, meaningful because it talks about coronavirus and COVID-19 and what's going on in our world right now, and about how Asians and Asian Americans have really been stereotyped and blamed in a lot of times for in the workplace for COVID-19, even though we know that that's an absurd statement. But at the same time, it's a lot of that negativity and a lot of that hate, if you will, for Asian Americans because of coronavirus right now is really prevalent in workplaces right now. So I think the article that you'll read for our case analysis is incredibly, meaningful for right now. So I'm really looking forward to when you do your analysis for this week, how, some ideas that you have for the assignment. So again, I can't wait to read those. One final quick point, again, as I was talking about, your first paper, if you're in the graduate section of this class and you know who you are, paper number 2 is going to be coming due on October 11th. I will make sure this week I post some information for you about what's expected for paper number 2. And again, if you're an undergraduate, if you're in the 36-26 section, that you do not have to complete paper number 2. It is only if you are in the graduate section. And again, I'll make sure when I send an announcement out that I make it clear this is for graduate students only. So if you're a graduate student, be on the lookout for that information for the next paper that's due on October 11th. So. Well, that's about it for this week. Again, happy that each one of you are in this class. It's been going really well so far. I've been very, very pleased with what I'm reading and some of the great insights each one of you have had. So have a great week. I'll see you on the discussion boards. And as always, please feel free to call me or email me if you have any questions about an assignment, your grade, anything along those lines. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.